Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is a good friend of mine, Mr. Dave. And I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
It's a pleasure to have me here, Keith, and I'm a very big fan of what you do. I encourage you to keep doing the great work because you truly are a true inspiration to everybody.
No, I really appreciate it. It's a real honor and privilege to hear that from my fans. Now, a lot of people say that, but I don't see it. But I do like to think I'm an inspiration, but as long as I'm being told that, so I guess I'm doing something right. So, it's a work in progress.
But, life is about work in progress, but you know what? You're doing a great job, so you have nothing to worry about.
Well, hopefully this takes off, knock on wood. I would like the talk show to grow and go to next places. So starting off, this is episode 262. I'm here with Mr. Dave, and the theme of the show is called the KeithAndrewNetWork. And the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. They should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still amount to something. But labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And to prove to them you can overcome that and become something. And the theme of the show is uncensored. Freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. So I'm going to ask you some hard-hitting subjects. If gloves off, I throw it at you, you throw it back at me. And let's just have fun with it.
All right, I'm all set, Keith.
So starting off, what can you tell us a little about yourself? And when you went to high school and college, were you a study nerd or party animal?
Well, this is going to be an interesting story, but I've lived in New Jersey all my life. I come from a big family. In high school, I've basically done a lot of dancing, participated in sports, not for the school, but just like regular activities. In college, I did that for 3 years for visual communication, which is graphic design, for associate's diploma. And throughout the past few years, I've been doing basically warehouse jobs, like being a loader, a package handler. Now I'm doing dishwashing and dietary dishwashing. I've been doing that for 7 months now. And I want to continue to be active and being a working person, not just sitting around being all lazy and just wishing for this and wishing for that and wishing what you. You get what I mean? But it's like, I want to be active, I mean? It's in my blood. It's in my genes. It's through my family. And I'm very proud to actually, be working at this moment. And I couldn't be more happier.
No, absolutely. Now, what about your college and high school years?
Wow. My high school years, wow, we're going to have to take a trip back to my party days. I was a good kid, back through all the high schools and the college. I stayed out of trouble whatsoever. I focused on work. And, I do have some fun whatsoever, but not to, go into parties to drink or smoke or do drugs. I don't do any of that. I basically wanted to get my education and move on to better things whatsoever. Same thing with college. It wasn't much as high school was, and it was a little watered down, when it came to funness and whatsoever, but I did make ways to be able to have some good friends to be able to keep things fun and interesting. So basically, I say I've been doing pretty good throughout my high school years, even though I've been staying out of trouble and being a fun guy, humorous mostly, or so I'm told.
Well, you seem pretty funny to me, so you got me to laugh.
I'm doing something right. It's part of my religion. Can you guess what I was saying, it's part of my religion. Can you guess what I'm going to say it is?
Jewish?
No. No. That's probably good. I like that. I like that. No, it's humorism.
No, it's good to have. Everyone needs a sense of humor.
Yeah, it's always needed in this world because, a lot of people, walk around with sad faces and being so cold-hearted to people instead of, like, looking at the positive things through life. Like, let's say, for example, if that's okay with you, Keith?
Sure.
Yeah, let's say, for example, if somebody is having a bad day at work and let's say a boss told them off about a work that they were doing wrong and they just happened to, get all angry and take some frustrations out of on people. Sorry for my headphones. It's just falling out a little bit. Okay, we made a recovery there. All right. So, but they instead of keeping the negative inside their mind, they need to look at the positive, saying, okay, I screwed up here, but I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to get better each and every day. That type of mentality will get them, to feel proud and feel, be like fighters, to keep going. Whatever it is in life, whether it's you mess up little or big, you fight back. It's what the bosses want, it's what your team wants, and that's what everybody wants that you work for in the company. That's what they want to see from you. And I truly believe that if you maintain that positive attitude, no matter what situation you are in, and as I stated earlier, you can be upbeat and be happy whatsoever. And that's...
No, absolutely. I agree with you. And don't, for our listeners and our viewers, Skype is acting up, so, it's gotta be, cutty, but, it's Skype. This is why I need my own studio so we can do this in person.
Well, hey, we're gonna get through this either way, We're doing a great job, so, hey, you're good with me.
Now, for a perfect example, like what you were saying, you can use me for a perfect example. For someone who was labeled handicapped, mentally challenged, retarded, and now for the longest time I was using my disability as a crutch. I can't go to college, I can't drive, I can't do this, I can't do what you do. But why not turn a weakness into a strength? And back in 2013, I decided, opportunities are not going to be handed it to you. And it's like that cartoon I saw recently. How do you get opportunities? Well, you build your own door. Or you build your own ladder. Or your own bridge, or whatever you want to do.
That is very interesting, Keith. Very interesting. I like that.
Also, I got tired of saying, it bothered me too. But, my brothers go off and do their own thing. And it's like, oh, go talk to this one, or talk to that one, they're doing this, or doing that. And I say, what about me? And they just look at me. It's like, what about you? I got sick of hearing that. It's like, well, you're not educated. You're not qualified. You're not smart enough. You're this, you're that. So I just said, like I said, it's uncensored. I said, fuck it. He said, you know what? I'm going to show you. But you think I'm retarded. Okay, maybe sometimes I am. But you say I'm retarded, I have a disability, I'm this, I'm labeled. I'm going to show you. But I still have a big heart, and I can still amount to something. It may take longer than, whatever person's doing. But I'm going to show you, eventually, I'm going to get to that point, and I'm going to do it on my own. And for my talk show, I've been doing everything myself. I've been promoting myself the best I can. I've been getting guests on my show the best I can. So I'm promoting, looking for people, getting myself out there. And it would be nice if my family was a little supportive, or they can point me in the right direction, besides the direction of saying, go work in retail for the rest of your life. But I'm like, okay, you want something right, you got to do it yourself. And I don't know, just keep doing, just keep working away, do what you want, and just make an example. And eventually, there are two things will happen. They're either going to say, I'm very proud of you that you did this on your own, or they're going to say, Oh, I see your bullshit finally did something for you. So
Wow.
yeah, my family's not very supportive.
Oh man. Well, listen. At least you got your fans and myself as your supporters. And as you said, it takes time. Every challenge has its benefits. Yes, it's going to be a struggle, but at the end of any type of road, the struggle will make you into a stronger, better person because you have the will and the fire not to give up on anything. So I truly believe that, as you said, challenges come at every way in life, but if you just maintain your focus and you just hang in there, don't give up on anything, you can accomplish anything. And let me tell you, Keith, you have definitely accomplished a lot, and you definitely accomplished on, being an inspiration to your fans, being an inspiration to the world, and you have nothing to be ashamed of. So I am very, very proud of you, and it's no bullshit either.
Hey, it's uncensored. Say whatever you want. I give you a perfect example. I was talking to my brother last night, and he's like, I started this new job, and it's you should just work your talk show around it or do when you're able to. And I basically stopped and I looked at him, and you were saying poor me, poor this, and I know a couple people that relates to. And you can say that to me, that used to be like me until I turned a strength into a weakness. Now I do whatever I want. You be supportive, thank you. If you don't want to be supportive, there's the door. And I don't care if I ever see you ever again. But I said to my brother, my talk show, regardless of what anyone thinks of it or thinks of me, makes me happy. And this is what I want to do until I die. And I swear to God on that. I'm not saying that to be cute. I'm not saying that to be funny. I mean this. This is what I want to do until I die. Because I'm very passionate about this. And so he basically stopped, looked at me, and shook his head and went back and looking at his phone. It's like, okay, well, you're going to be one of those people and I'll prove wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't mean to bitch to you. I apologize.
No. It's all right. Let it all out, Keith. Let it all out. This is your talk show. We can say whatever we want. Freedom of speech. Hashtag freedom of speech.
Now, in the next question I was going to ask you, then we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then I'm going to pass the show over to you. This is your time. Now, actually, I'm going to do the commercial break first. Now, I'm going to hold up my water so I know where to edit it. Alright, so for the first thing I want to promote, and you should be honest because you're an actor and a comedian, that there's this thing called Celebrity VM, and you should be on there because, like I said, you're an actor and a comedian. I'm on there because I'm a YouTube star, not to brag. Basically, Celebrity VM is let's use my catchphrase. Celebrity VM is for celebrities, YouTube stars, actors, actresses, models, professional wrestlers. If you want a personal message from a celebrity, go to CelebrityVM.com. Prices vary. I'll give you a perfect example. You came across my profile. And I think I changed it back to $20 or something. It's between 20 or 30. It's one of them. And basically you say, today's my birthday, can I get a shout out? My wife, it may are renewing our vows. Can you give me a shout out? Today's my son's birthday, it's my daughter's graduation. So I can say anything you want as long as it's not perverted. I can say anything you want for between $20 to $30. And if you like Game of Thrones, Star Trek, Star Wars, WWE, TNA, and a whole bunch of other great things, you can get a star, and they will do the same thing. The highest person I saw was Dennis Rodman. And don't ask me why. I'd be happier with the $500. But he wants $500 to do like a 2-minute video. If you're lucky, he would do a 2-minute video. But $500, I can do a lot with that. But going down, Brooke Hogan wants $200, and that's still posting it. Gail Kim wants $100. My friend Ashley wants $100. And like I said, like you mentioned in the beginning, Velvet Sky, Angel Love, Malena Perez, they're reasonable. They get $25, maybe $30 at least or whatever. The last time I checked, it was about $25, and for me, it's about $20 to $30. But it's reasonable prices. Depends on the person. You can ask them anything you want, and you can get a personalized message. That's number one. Number two is, are you a fan of Woo Crates and BarkBox?
I've never really heard of that. Is it interesting? What's it about, really?
Alright, so basically, there's a whole bunch of companies. There's Woo Crate, there's BarkBox, and basically, all memberships for different ones start about between $7, $14. But the one I'm promoting, Woo Crates. And so Woo Crates has between 4 to 5 different boxes. It has a normal box, then it has the DX box, then it has the anime box. You can get a box once a month, pay $14 a month, and it's an ongoing fee. So as you're paying $14 a month, you can get a box full of just shirts, socks, if you have a sock fetish, if you like collecting socks. There's a box that's for underwear. You can get one for mixtures, so WooCrate.com. You pick whatever box you want, $14 a month. And the last one I'm trying to get as a sponsor, and these are just affiliations I'm just promoting. My last affiliation is BarkBox. Now, BarkBox is for all the dog lovers out there, and basically, it's the same thing like Woo Crates and Level Up. $14 a month. They will send you the same thing as long as you continue paying. But BarkBox will give you 2 toys, 2 bags of treats, an accessory, and I think something else in there. And it tells you have to fill out the information, what type of dog you have, big dog, small dog, and they will continuously give you the fee as long as you pay. So that's BarkBox, WooCrates.com, and Celebrity VM. Also, Target as well. I don't have the promo in front of me, but Target has a lot of great deals. I will have it in the little description box afterwards. So those are my 4 affiliations. Would be nice if I got annoyed at going back to the show now, and then I will pass it back to you. Yeah, I got annoyed at what was that? I think it was a Woo Crates, or it was something. And they asked me about what was your affiliation, what is your viewership, so what is your fan base. And so if you can give me a box, I give you a perfect example. Okay, we give you like this book, and you open the book, and it will have like 4 different things, and you can reveal it. I was like, can I get that for free, and I can do a plug for you? Okay, and that brings in the conversation, how many people do you have, how many people watch your show, blah, blah, blah. We come back when you have a couple thousand, 2,000. I'm like, all right, well, at least I can say the following's brought to you by. So that's something. For all dog a bone here. But, it's a work in progress. But the last subject I want to ask you, and I promise I will shut up, and I will pass it to you, is when you became a comedian, were you criticized, number one, and who was your Mo said who was your information, but who was your inspiration to become a comedian?
Wow, that's a good question. Honestly, throughout my years, I've seen a lot of great comedians, like from movies and shows and whatsoever. The first thing that pops into my mind is Robin Williams, and I'll tell you why. he is mostly known for his voice acting. I don't know how he does it, but he is a complete genius. And yet he can come up with so many funny lines. Like if he's just sitting down, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say if you have him as a special guest, just to have some tea in your kitchen. He would just sit down and he's just sipping on his tea and he'll just come up with these funny lines. I don't know how. But he'll just get you laughing. I said to myself, this is good. This kind of like me. I just like to be humorous whatsoever, be funny. And I wasn't criticized whatsoever because I thought before I spoke. In other words, I think before I speak. So that's a safe bet there for my take. So for anybody's take, excuse me. But throughout all my life, I've been funny. I watched what I say because I like to say things respectfully and to have everybody have a great time, no issues whatsoever. And luckily, I never got in trouble for school for that ever. So, but yeah, Robin Williams was definitely my inspiration on being a funny guy, a comedian, as we say. But it's just his work alone. And I just wish he was still here today. I was very shocked that he passed away. Very shocked. I was like, wow, Robin Williams? Really? 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 I mean, it's one of the greatest comedians of all time. He's always so happy, so upbeat. You never would have thought that, he'd be gone from this earth. And that's basically it there.
Well, I like how you did a reference to Miz. Are you a wrestling fan?
Oh, man. I've been a wrestling fan since 1988, back in the Federation years. All the way to the early 2000s. Now, for today's wrestling, no, things have completely watered down. I'd rather watch TNA Impact, honestly, because they have more action. The storylines have gotten much better, and it has these different characters that bring something different to the table to catch your attention. Mm-hmm. Like you see them, you'd be like, oh wow, this is something different. This person, can really get to the point. And then once you watch WWE, you rarely see wrestlers that really dedicate themselves to make the company good, like Brock Lesnar, like The Undertaker, Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. All the legends that we knew from the Attitude Era all the way back to the Federation years. And now that you look at it, it's like watered down. There's a lot of new guys. There's a lot of new people. And, I wish them all the best success, as always. It's going to take a lot, but you know what? If they keep mastering their craft, they're going to get there, just like the veterans and the ones who paved the way for them, that are in the Hall of Fame, that dedicated themselves to master their crafts to make the WWE good. So never say never. That's what I always say. Never say never. Never. Just because things look watered down, eventually things will pick up. But it takes the dedication and the passion in order to have that to happen. If TNA can do that, definitely WWE can do that, ROH can do that, and everywhere else can do that. So it's no different from any other wrestling company. But yes, I am a wrestling fan.
Well, there's a couple names I want to run past you in a couple minutes. But, that's what happens when you buy your competition. TNA had their ups and downs, but TNA had their moments where they could honestly compete with the WWE, and they keep screwing up. Remember 2010? I think it was January 10th, 2010, when they had Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff, and they were on a Monday. Mm-hmm. And how the WWE competed? They had Bret Hart come in on the same night, and it's what the very first match, very first segment, they screwed up, and I was like, "Yep, this is all downhill from here." But they had opportunities to be good or better than WWE. Personally, they were their own company. NXT. I would prefer to watch NXT over Raw and SmackDown. Or there's this new show, CWC, Cruiserweights, the Cruiserweight division they have. I would prefer to watch that over SmackDown and Raw. You have the Cruiserweight show. You should check it out. It's really good. CWC on the WWE Network and NXT because that's what wrestling is. And a lot of people like to say it's because they're PG. I'll give you a perfect example of why that's bullshit. Look at the 80s. Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Ted DiBiase, Andre the Giant, Rowdy Piper. It was PG, but it was great. Now, go to the new generation years. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, The Undertaker, Yokozuna, and then, I hated the Attitude Era because, for me, that's when wrestling died. And I interviewed a couple ECW wrestlers. I hate ECW. Don't get me wrong, there's some wrestlers I really like. Rob Van Dam, Just Incredible, Rhino, the Dudleys. And, they're really great, but I think ECW hurt the business, and it's this whole long thing about that. But, so, wrestling to me died in 98 to about 2000, but I'm just giving you the highlights of how I got back into it. Thanks to Trish and Rita, I was a big fan of the Harts, and after Owen Hart passed away in that accident, and that's one of the names I want to talk to you about. After Owen passed away in the accident, I said, that's it, I'm had enough of this hardcore bullshit. This is not wrestling anymore. You can stick the attitude up your ass because it's not wrestling to me anymore. I don't like this. But when I came across Trish and Rita, I got into women's wrestling. And at the same time, it's like, Chris Benoit's on. At the same time, the Nitro was still there. And I became a fan of Chris Benoit. I became a bigger fan of Kevin Nash and Hogan. And then the Ruthless Aggression era was one of the best eras. The Reality era was one of the best. And now they're going back to PG. And it isn't the fact it's PG that hurts it. It's the storytelling that hurts it. You can have it PG, It would be nice for them to stop being wussies about when someone gets busted open. Because Hulk Hogan got busted open. Ric Flair got busted open. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. And you never once saw them stop a match. Because they had a little boo-boo on them. And now, did you see SummerSlam with Brock and Randy?
Oh, I saw the ending of that where Brock Lesnar was pounding Orton's head, and it was brutal. I was looking like...
But
I swear, I had that pause look the whole time, Keith. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But you know what? The thing is, WWE's using Brock as a beast. They're making him be believable, because he is a beast. When he first came to WWE, yeah, he was good, but ever since he came back,
he was better.
It has fear on everybody's eyes, like, oh shoot, let me get the hell out of here.
Okay, what about Bobby Lashley? Do you think Bobby Lashley can take Brock?
Oh, that'll be a very interesting one. You know what? I know Bobby Lashley's doing really good in Impact as the world champion and all, and he's really stepped up his game. I'm very proud of him. So to have him and Brock Lesnar collide in a match, I don't know who's going to win, but my take is going to be Brock Lesnar because he has the advantage. He has the best advantage, in my opinion.
Well, I know Batista's old now, but when Batista was in his prime, do you think he would be able to take Brock or no?
Wow. I think it's a good chance Batista can beat Brock because I don't know if you knew, Keith, but did you ever see the video of Batista doing like jiu-jitsu moves?
Not really.
Yeah, he did a interview on that one. He was telling about he was going to jiu-jitsu school so he could use some grappling moves and some submission moves. So if he's able to go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar with that one and really master it, he has a good chance of beating Brock, definitely. He has the power game, no doubt about it, but it's all about overall skill at the end. Or at least that's how I see it.
No, absolutely. Now I'm going to ask you one more group of questions, and I'm going to pass it to you. This is your time. Now,
Okay.
number one, do you think Owen Hart should be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Number one. And I know a lot of people criticize me for this. As a human being, I think he had a nervous breakdown. You probably know where this is going. As a human being, I know he had severe problems and he wasn't all there. But you cannot deny, without question, as a professional wrestler, he is one of the best. And I'm talking about Chris Benoit. Do you think eventually, they're going to overlook the fact that there was an incident? Or do you think they're just going to continue? Because WWE's continuously erasing Benoit. But he is a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. Two questions there, Keith. Let's start with Owen Hart first. I believe that he definitely should be in the Hall of Fame because, like you said, he's one of the very best wrestlers of all time. He's very skilled. He's athletic. He was very funny, and very few people ever knew that Owen Hart was very funny. A lot of people say that Canadians are very funny, and it's true. You have Owen Hart, Edge, Christian, Trish Stratus, Kevin Owens. Wait, is he funny? Do you know if he's funny?
I like Kevin Allen. I like how he yells at people for no reason. I give you a fun. Did he say what's it, Sir? Yeah, it was Sir. I can't even talk. I'm sorry. It was the Royal Rumble, and he was fighting Dean Ambrose in a tables match. He went out of the ring, and Kevin Owens went to pick up the table, and the fan says, "It's not Thanksgiving," and he turns around and says, "Thanksgiving's in November, moron." And
what? He actually said that?
Yeah, you have go on the internet. I sent it to you. It's really funny. The other one was he was stacking two tables on top of each other, and every guy yells at him. I feel like you're just wasting my time right now.
Wow. I never knew that actually happened. Thank you for telling me.
So Kevin Owens is really funny.
Wow. I heard. Actually, there's an interview. I don't know if you ever heard of this radio show called The Don Tony Show.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's on podcast. I'm sorry, podinfluence.com. There was a clip that he had of Kevin Owens doing an interview, and it turned out he's very intelligent because he worked his way in Canada all the way to get into the WWE. And it was very interesting what he had to say, even though I heard only 5 minutes of it, which I'll never get back. No, I'm kidding. But, yeah, it was very interesting. If I ever find a clip, I'll definitely send it to you, most definitely. And, yeah, but going back to your question about Owen Hart, yes, Owen Hart should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. There should be no reason why he shouldn't. He's one of the best. Now, number two, on the Chris Benoit thing, will he ever be inducted? It's going to take time. It's going to take time. I don't know. I honestly don't know if he actually did what he did, honestly, because I personally don't think that he did it because he does not look like the type of person that would do any harm to anybody whatsoever. He's very skilled in the ring. He's earned everybody's respect whatsoever. A lot of people have nothing but great things to say about him. And when I heard the news talk about him killing his family, I'm like, nah, this can't be Chris. No way. Now, I may not be in the wrestling business whatsoever, but it's just how I felt. I don't think Chris Benoit did it at all. So as time goes by, it could possibly happen that Chris Benoit could be in the Hall of Fame, but it's going to take time. It's going to take a long time, but it's going to take time. That's just how I see it.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up, how can people follow you on social media? Are you on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook?
Yeah, you can check me out on twitter.com, The Studman. That's TheStudd, no double D, as in women. MAN. That's The Studman. And you can check me out on Instagram on Stylin' Studs. The Stylin' part, it doesn't have the G on it. I want to be creative. So it's STYLIN, and then at the end is Studs, STUDDS. And again, folks, no double D for women. No, not that. No. And you can contact me on Skype, Dave Studs, as I told you, and hopefully everybody is listening can contact me as well. And you can find me on YouTube, Mr. Dave Studs. And you can email me, comment me. I'm always available for communications whatsoever. So those are the sites where you can find me.
Now, wrapping up, was there anything you wanted to promote? Anything you want to ask me?
Yes. What were you back in your high school years? Were you really focused on work and to achieve things in life, or were you athletic most of the time, or what were you like, Keith?
Well, I basically wasn't like this. I was basically a shy kid. I kept to myself, and I basically, if you met me 10 years ago and compared me now, you wouldn't say it's the same person. Because I kept to myself, I hanged out with, talked to, or befriended my brother's friends. And when they weren't around, I kept to myself. But, I started my talk show when I was about 16 when I joined, maybe 16, 17, when I joined the audiovisual department. And that started the format. I had the Keith show, the Keith Andrew show, the Keith and Tony show, the Keith and Andrew show, I was a fan of ECW at the time. The Extreme Power Hour, Extreme Tuesday, I like the name. But basically, I was pushed along through the school system, and this is my way of just proving to people, I may have a learning disability, I may be retarded, but look at what I'm able to accomplish. So, knock on wood, this is what I want to do, and I'm taking it up to new heights. Now, people are saying, well, why don't you wear fancy shirts? I give you the concept, and while wrapping up. When I first did the talk show, it's pretty much what we're doing right now, but I would ask you, where do you stand on Black Lives Matter? Where do you stand on gay rights? Where do you stand on legalizing marijuana? Where do you stand on this? Where do you stand on that? And then I say, okay, your turn, you can throw it back at me. It's like, okay, that's good for 100 episodes. I don't want to sound repetitive. How can I make the show different for season 2? So now it's more in-depth. You ask me, you can basically supporting a good cause, making a friend out of it. Season 3, it's same logic. By season 1, I was wearing. Basically, this is how I started. When I had my camera, how you see the reflection is basically what the camera picked up. And in season 2, I was recording from the camera to the computer screen. Season 3, my brother told me about Skype recorder, so it's now going to be cut in half. But once I was being seen on the camera, I was like, okay, wear professional shirts, and now I was like, okay, well, I want to be laid back, and now it doesn't matter. Season 4, I may go back to the professional shirts, go back to the hard-hitting questions. But basically, I wanted to show you from the phone, from the computer screen, to the double screen, there was a transition. I didn't want to do Skype recording from the beginning. Yes, you would see me how I changed, but you wouldn't really see a transition overall, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, really appreciate your answer, Keith. And I can tell that, it's a long transition. Sorry for my slurring there. But yeah, you definitely making a great, successful show, and, able to, be the. That's very cool and such a great blessing. So kudos for you for that, Keith. And there's one question I got to ask you.
Sure.
All right. I know you have seen this all over Twitter. I don't know if you have, but what are your thoughts on Kevin Owens being the new WWE Universal Champion?
Well, first off, wrapping up on that question, I think I compared, I don't know if you saw my Twitter, I did a competition about who has the better belt design, me, a kid with a disability created his own belt, or WWE copying the current belt and just changing the colors. And a lot of people still like WWE, and I was like, okay, whatever, but that's not the question I was asked. But basically, I think I have the better design. However, how I feel about Kevin Owens being champion, I think he deserves it. I sure as hell did not want to see Roman Reigns as champion because he has potential, but they sure ruined him. Seth Rollins, he's a whiny little bitch, but I do like Seth Rollins. Cass, he wasn't going to get the belt. So it was either give it to Cass or give it to Kevin Owens. And, I think Kevin Owens deserves it. Because instead of catering like they do like the past couple months to Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, you're catering to the three of them over and over. And it's like, it's like back in the day, you cater to Bret Undertaker Michaels. Now you have the Shield you're catering to. But yes, I think Kevin Owens deserves it. The belt, on the other hand, is the stupidest looking belt I ever seen. I hate it. And
I agree.
Why couldn't he just bring back an old belt? A perfect example, the 1985 or the 1987 belt, when Hulk Hogan had. It had on the sides USA, Canada, England, and on the other side it had different ones. That would have been perfect as the Universal belt because he had the different countries on it. No, let's just use the same belt, but let's turn it red. Okay. It's the Universal SmackDown. Oh, we got a women's belt. Oh, this has got to be good. It's the same freaking belt. You just changed it from white to blue, and I was like, oh my god, you guys talking about being cheap.
Exactly. It's a shame that they're just sticking to these new designs that they think that's going to make money, but rather they should, be creative. Go back to the old school ways that has real design. Keyword, folks, real design that meant something. But now these days, it's like they don't care. It's like, come on, people. Get it together, WWE. We're your fans. We want to be entertained, but you got to give us something that means something. Give us something. Give us something.
Well, do you like the Matt Hardy angle that they're doing?
Oh, with the broken Hardy stuff? That is, you know what, Keith? I'm glad you brought that up. At first, I didn't care for it because I was looking at, wait a minute. Is this the Hardys I'm seeing here, or is this the Wizard of Oz or the Lord of the Rings that I'm watching as a repeat? But I was convinced that their match that they had, what was it? Final Destination.
Right.
Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, they had their match. I was shocked how funny the shenanigans that these two had, and now with this whole angle, to answer your question, I love it. It's very entertaining, and I just can't stop laughing about it. Matter of fact, I just can't stop laughing about it since you just brought it up. So thank you for getting me laughing.
I liked how they're having dinner, and Matt Hardy says, "Can you pass the green beans? We don't have green beans. How shall we not have green beans? These are a delicacy. I command you to give me green beans."
And he's basically using the English talking. If you notice, he's using the English talking. He's done pretty good. But as Jeff Hardy is trying to do the English talking, Jeff, no disrespect, buddy, but please speak English, please, American style, please, or we'll have to have you delete.
Oh, did you see his video where he made fun of the WWE? Yeah, Matt Hardy created a. Do you know how to do then, now, and forever? Matt Hardy created his own. It says delete, delete, delete.
He's done that on Twitter. I've noticed that. It's very hilarious. I get a kick out of it every time. But yeah, I love the angle. TNA's doing a great job so far.
Yep. I appreciate it. We're wrapping up. It was a real honor and privilege have you as a guest on my talk show and building a friendship. And if you're ever in the area, we should definitely hang out.
Oh, most definitely. And Keith, thank you for having me on your talk show. And definitely, if you need me for any other episodes or anything at all, please let me know. I'm always happy to help you.
Oh, definitely. Next season, I will promise to have you on.
Definitely. Looking forward to it, Keith.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.